Presented by Honda at the Model Clearout event. It's the best time to team up with a Honda you'll love.
Go Jays, go! Go Jays, go!
Indeed, go Jays, go. A lot of Blue Jay fans here once again. This is the third game of this four-game series. The Blue Jays have won the first two games, and you can see there are a lot of Blue Jay fans in attendance tonight. They have made their way from all over across Western Canada. We've met a bunch of people that made a trip from Toronto to see this series, and it's a gorgeous weekend. And the baseball has been very good for the Blue Jay fans.
You couldn't ask for a more perfect weekend weather-wise, I think. The fans are all over Seattle, and I think the Blue Jays have risen to the occasion. You talk to every one of the Jays, to a man, they say, having all the Jays fans here, it feels like a home game, yes, but it really raises the level of your play, your awareness, and they've been playing some outstanding baseball the last two nights.
The Canadian James Paxton takes the mound, and he's on quite a roll lately. He is 8-3 over his last 15 starts, and he's limited the opponents to a .203 average. This is his second start since coming off the disabled list. He last pitched on Monday against Houston, and he was outstanding. Take a look at the lineup for the Blue Jays. Of course, Paxton no-hit Blue Jays back in Rogers Center in May. Randall Grichuk, he's been swinging the red-hot bat. He's hitting .368 over his last 9 games with 7 extra base hits. And then Russell Martin, well, what a run Russell's on. It has been a tough season for him. His batting average still just .196, but he's at .344 over his last 10 games. Really feels good at the plate. He's had an extra base hit in 5 straight games.
They will face the big left-hander James Paxton as he gets ready for his 22nd start of the season. Spent some time on the disabled list. You mentioned that he was originally placed on the DL after his start on July the 12th, right before the All-Star break, when he could only throw 2/3 of an inning, got rocked by the Los Angeles Angels. He was on the disabled list with lower back inflammation. Activated then on July the 30th, and boy, what a start that was against the world champion Houston Astros. 7 very big innings, shutout innings, and 8 strikeouts, just 3 hits against the Astros. Paxton, he's going to challenge you with that fastball, 95 plus with it. Great curveball. He can cut that ball in on the righties. Some of the Jays were talking about that today. And then occasionally he will use a changeup. Something to look out for today, especially early in this game. First innings have been his toughest and hardest hit innings this season. He's got his highest earned run average of .566 in the first inning, and he's given up 6 of his 16 home runs.
It has been kind of a shaky series so far for the defense for Seattle, but they've got a real good center fielder out there in Cameron Maybin.
Yeah, he's played all 3 outfield positions for Miami Marlins, but he's going to play center field here. This is his 7th organization in the last 5 years. 21 games with Houston last year with that World Series championship team. So he was acquired right in that August trade deadline, was picked up on waivers. He's a good one out there.
So Randall Grichuk, he had a 4-hit game last night, his second career 4-hit game. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. It is up and away for a ball, and we are underway. Saturday night, it's 25 degrees and a perfect night here at Safeco Field. And you can hear the Blue Jay fans not wasting any time trying to rally their troops.
They've been reading the newspapers the last couple of days, and some of the players from the Seattle Mariners are not real happy about the fans being here. Doesn't feel like a home game for them.
There's a drive that's going to hook into the seats and give the Blue Jay fans a souvenir. You know, David Price said it when he came to the Blue Jays: if you don't like it, play better. 1-2 to Grichuk. Popped out of play. The Blue Jay fans, as we have talked about throughout the course of the first 2 games of this series, they're all over Seattle. And it is truly like a holiday for them. Many of them have planned this for over a year to come here and take part in this 4-game series.
Never seen so many selfies being taken. I was in the lobby the other day, and some of the fans were coming up and visiting and all that, and then the players came in the bus after the game, and they go running through them. The players have to walk through the fans, and they are absolutely going gaga over the Blue Jays here.
2-2 pitch on the ground. Andrew Romine, the second baseman, playing in place of D. Gordon, makes the play. Gordon Played last night, but that ankle is not 100% yet, so Romain gets the start tonight. Now, James Paxton, he's got a terrific whip this season. It's currently the third lowest in franchise history, and you can see where he stacks up in the American League.
Got to get to him early because he just doesn't give you anything. The walks plus hits per divided by the innings pitched, so he just doesn't give up any base runners. These are some of the best pitchers in the American League. And what's impressive about that is it's in the American League with the designated hitter and the very deep lineups. You got to get to him early, and you got to be able to hit that first fastball you get.
0-1 to Devin Travis. That's a fair ball. Past Seager down the left field line. It's going to go all the way into the corner. Travis is headed for second, and he'll get there. Bernard Span in left field digs it out. Then Devin Travis has a double. Boy, the Blue Jays have making their share of extra base hits on this road trip.
Boy, have they ever. They've been homering. They've been hitting doubles. We had some triples last night. Devin Travis had multiple RBIs in consecutive games for the 5th time in his career last night. Starts off tonight with another extra base hit down the line.
That's the 20th double the Blue Jays have hit in their 9 games on this road trip. They've also hit a triple and 15 home runs. They've homered in each of the 8 games on this trip. Here's Justin Smoke. Pat, you mentioned the first inning struggles for Paxton, and the Blue Jays have been a very good first inning club on this road trip. They have jumped out to some early leads.
Oakland, it seemed like they were scoring early often. Yesterday they scored in the first inning, scored in the second, the first game here. Paxton's tough. He's going to come right after you. By the way, the last hit before that one, I wanted to find out when was the last time he gave up a hit to the Blue Jays. It was last June of 2017. Kendrys Morales got him for an RBI hit in the 4th inning.
He no-hit the Blue Jays on May 8th on just 99 pitches. And he finished up strong. He retired the final 16 batters he faced to wrap up the no-hitter. Marcus Stroman was the starter against Paxton that night. 2-1. Smoke swings at the off-speed pitch. Paxton's battery mate Mike Zunino hit a 2-run home run in that no-hitter. He and Paxton have been playing right along through their minor league careers right here to the big leagues. They were both drafted and developed by the Mariners. 2-2 to Smoke. Bounced foul wide of third. Two and two now. That's a full count. That breaking ball was in the dirt. We mentioned Paxton just coming off the disabled list. This is his second start. He was dealing with low back inflammation, and that's been his story. He's 29 years old, and he's never made more than 24 starts in a single season. He's always had to deal with injuries. 3-2 pitch to Smoke. It's ball 4. So Travis with a 1-out double, followed by Smoke's base on balls. And the Blue Jays are threatening here again in the first inning. What is it about starters that have a tough time in the first inning?
Well, you can go down in that bullpen and have a great round, but then you step out onto the mound and then you could lose it. Right now, the good ones, before they get locked in, you got to get to them. And Paxton is a good one. Maybe it's the game. Tried to check his swing, but he did. Maybe it's the game, maybe it's the surroundings, facing live batting. But for some reason, some of the good ones, they just takes them a while to get rolling.
Zunino, his catcher, goes out to the mound to have a chat with him. That's Andrew Romine, the second baseman, wants to get involved. Teoscar Hernandez, he had a 4-hit game in the opener on Thursday. He had 3 doubles in that game, and he was shut down last night. Seattle made some very effective adjustments against him.
Yeah, in game 1, they were trying to pound him in with fastballs, and he was waiting for it and ready for it. Turned on a couple of those. Last night, he was telling me today, they went fastball in, then fastball back away. Then back in. They had him guessing where they were going to use the fastball, and then they throw slow stuff down in the strike zone. Tonight, he says, I got to be aggressive and be ready to hit that fastball inside, and I've got to be disciplined enough to stay off that ball away.
Here's the 2-0 pitch to Hernandez, and it is away for ball 3. So Hernandez now more than likely will be given the green light. See if they can't take advantage of Paxton here in the first. Give him a free swing.
I think you're absolutely right. You've got a home run hitter, a guy who can launch the ball out of here and give you a quick lead. Might be the only good pitch you see.
They had the green light. 96 with the heater as Paxton blew it by Hernandez. Teoscar batting .249 for the season. 16 homers, 41 RBIs. He is 2 for 9 going up against the Big Maple. Now it's a full count.
You know, right now in the first inning, these hitters, look what you're facing. You got that sun shining off that backdrop right now, and it's very tough to pick the baseball up. 3-0 pitch. I think that's why he missed that 3-0 pitch. It's very tough. I was down there for batting practice today, and that ball comes out of that backdrop. It's very bright. Tough to pick up the ball.
Fouls that one straight back. He had another good cut at a fastball.
This is where you battle. Watching batting practice today, it's like you were hitting the shadow. Ball was coming into the shadows. It was tough to pick the ball up. Right now, it's got to be awfully tough to pick it up against Paxton.
Ground ball toward third. Seager goes to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. Well, Paxton gets out of it. It took him 21 pitches, but he's out of the first inning without allowing a run. The double play turns an inning-ending defense for James Paxton. July, they've got 8-16. Let's take a look at the lineup for Scott Service's Mariners. A cleanup hitter. He's worn out the Blue Jays, and he's also had good numbers against the starter, Marco Estrada. 6 for 13 against Estrada. He has never struck out against Marco Estrada. He had a rough night last night against Brian Barucki. Ryan Healy, the first baseman, he's hitting just .236, but he's got some power. 14 of his 21 home runs on the season have occurred right here at Safeco Field. And they will take on Marco Estrada tonight.
They've been really struggling, the Mariners, to score runs. So Marco trying to win his 5th game of the season. Last time out against Oakland, just 4 innings. He was coming off the disabled list. Remember when he threw just a third of an inning on the 3rd of July against the Mets. He came back with 4 innings against the Oakland A's. No limitations tonight. He was on a 70 pitch count last time. He threw 69. No strikeouts last time out. First time this year he didn't strike out a batter.
Curveball. Diaz at shortstop. Segura's retired. Run away. The Blue Jays have committed just 4 errors in the 8 games on this road trip. Their defense has been pretty solid, and they've got a great first baseman in Justin Smoke.
He's had the second most innings played in the American League at first base, 842. He's committed 1 error. And Sabre just released its defensive index rankings in the American League, and he's 3rd as a first baseman. He has had a heck of a season this year defensively.
This is Denard Span, who did not play in the game last night with the lefty Barucki on the mound. Span is in left field, batting second. He came over to the Mariners from the Rays back in May.
I thought that was a steal. It happened very quickly. The general manager, Jerry Dipoto, struck very quickly. Recognized that they needed an 8th inning man and they needed another outfielder. And he swung a trade with the Rays. Didn't give up a whole lot.
They brought Andrew Colomé and Denard Span here for a couple of minor leaguers, Tommy Romero and Andrew Moore.
Alex Colomé has been a blessing for this team, pitching in front of Edwin Diaz.
0-2 pitch. Change up, hit in the air to left. Shouldn't be a problem for Hernandez, and it isn't. 2 up, 2 down for Marco Estrada. Oh, Blue Jays, boy, they've been energized since they've come into this atmosphere here in Seattle at Safeco Field. The Blue Jay fans have really supported this team very well.
After what we saw in Oakland, they got scorched by the A's there. Not a lot of life in their game, but since they have stepped onto this field, again, it feels like a home game for them. And a lot of energy from the crowd. Blue Jays have risen to the occasion.
This is the right fielder, Mitch Haniger. Haniger was 2 for 4 in the game last night. He scored the first run for the Mariners in the 4th. He reached on an error by the shortstop, Aledmus Diaz. Came around to score. Way out in front of that off-speed pitch and hits it a mild but foul. Last night there were 30,715 fans in attendance. It appears to be a little bit larger crowd here this evening. Out of play over the Mariners dugout. Russell Martin behind the plate calling the pitches for Marco Estrada. Russell starting to swing the bat well. This is the second game in a row for Russell. He and Luke Maile have been splitting up the games almost half and half lately. Right back to Estrada. So Marco Estrada is through the first, no problem. Took just 9 pitches. He threw 9 strikes to start the game.
That when he reflects back on that no-hitter, the one thing that really stands out for him, actually happened after the final out. As he was about to conduct his post-game interviews, Paxton pointed to his maple leaf tattoo on his forearm and received a huge ovation from the crowd. He said it was a moment he won't soon forget. Quote, "It was pretty special." As for where loyalties lie when the Mariners host the Blue Jays, Paxton says he has had a little bit of success switching over a handful of friends and family members to Mariners fans. But, Buck, for the most part, there are only Seattle fans on the days he pitches.
Yeah, it's really tough for a guy that grew up in Canada. And of course, he grew up watching the Blue Jays, but he has converted some of his family and friends. He watched Andy Pettitte pitch a lot. When you watch James Paxton pitch, it reminds me of Andy Pettitte, the way he kind of slings the ball toward home plate. And as we mentioned earlier, he's 29 years old. Anxious to put together a season where he doesn't have to deal with injuries, and he has dealt with injuries again this year.
He's got a little bit more power in his pitches than Andy Pettitte, but he doesn't have that Pettitte cutter. Not as good as Pettitte used to throw it.
And Eris Solarte is the DH tonight. He did not play in the game last night, and he has played a lot this season. Solarte, 413 at bats at the start of play tonight. Goes after that high hitter. I think Solarte's played a lot more than the Blue Jays front office thought he would when he was picked up. He was picked up with the idea he might be kind of a rotating extra player. Switch hitter that has had a good season.
Play some third base, play some second base, maybe even play some first base. He's done that. But you're right, when he was acquired, he was as an extra man, as a bench player. Now the injuries to Josh Donaldson, it seems like all season long he's had a chance to play, and he has come through.
Pretty good looking pitch. The pitch was called a ball. It's 2-2, and here's Maple Grove. It's been displaced because there are so many Blue Jay fans here, but they hold up the A sign when Paxton gets to 2 strikes. Now it's a full count.
Would they kick him upstairs?
They kicked him upstairs. They were down in the left field corner where the King's Court normally is. We saw that on Thursday night when Felix Hernandez pitched, but they bumped him upstairs. But they took their maple tree with them.
I see that up there.
Yeah. Another high fastball and a strikeout. That's the first strikeout of the ball game, and they're celebrating in Maple Grove.
Paxton has dominated right-handed batters this year. They're hitting just 191 against him. That high fastball will pick up his first strikeout, and that will give him 164 on the season. There again, the best that the American League has to offer. Now in the top 5.
Gets ahead of Russell Martin with the first pitch strike. 164 strikeouts for Paxton. That's a career high. His previous high was 156. That was last year. Breaking ball for strike 2.
Don't let him get into a rhythm right now. That first inning, they had him on the ropes, double walk. Now it looks like he's starting to get into a nice little rhythm.
Makes quick work of Russell Martin. So back-to-back strikeouts for Paxton here in the second.
He's got such a fluid windup in delivery. And as a hitter, you're almost lulled to sleep a little bit by that. And all of a sudden, boom, the ball is on you. For me, it reminds me a little bit of Sandy Koufax, that big drop and drive and right over the top with the fastball and curveball.
Aledmys Diaz takes the first pitch breaking ball. Diaz had a single and 4 at-bats in last night's game. He scored the 7th and final run for the Blue Jays. He gets beat with that fastball, and you're right, Paxton's starting to feel it. He had finished up his no-hitter, retiring the final 16 Blue Jays he faced in that game.
He was throwing harder at the end of the game than I think he was at the beginning of the game.
Breaking ball pulled in the hole. Tough play for Segura. Nicely done. Well, he planted that right foot, reached back for a little extra, and threw out Diaz. Long throw from the hole at shortstop. Plants that foot, reaches back for a good fastball, and delivers to end the inning.
Log in to My Blue Jays and enter the code MBJ9136 to earn My Blue Jays points just for watching tonight's broadcast. Your entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. Your code must be entered by 4 a.m. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. Well, you can see the young crowd here at Safeco Field. A lot of Blue Jay fans having a great weekend. This is Nelson Cruz. Well, Cruz, like so many of his teammates, he really had his problems with Ryan Borucki last night. He was over 3 against Borucki and then struck out against Ken Giles in the ninth. Finished up the night 0 for 4. He injured his hand swinging the bat early in the game against Borucki. And I asked him about that. I said, what happened? He said, I was losing the grip on my bottom hand and I kind of re-gripped the bat and twisted my middle finger and it kind of popped my knuckle out of joint for a minute.
Oh, he's not going to miss any at-bats against the Blue Jays. No. Not the way he has hit the Jays in the past.
Popped back over the screen and out of play. Against Marco Estrada, Cruz is 6 for 12 against Estrada. 6 for 13, excuse me, with a double, 2 home runs and 3 ribbies. Oh, there's a good changeup. Marco has never struck Cruz out.
Well, now's a good time to get the first one.
That changeup misses down and away. Three and 2 to the leadoff man here in the second. A leadoff walk. So Cruz aboard to start the inning for Seattle. That'll bring Kyle Seager to the plate. Seager, one of the few Mariners to have a good night at the plate. He was 2 for 4 at an RBI, drove in the first run of the game. And he lined out sharply in the 6th, which was a real important at bat for Seattle. A couple guys aboard. He hit it hard, but right to the right fielder, Grichuk.
After the game last night, they held a players-only meeting, and they wanted to kind of regroup just a little bit because they had been reeling lately. And the whole, I think, idea of the meeting was, hey, we just need to stick together and keep battling. Scott Service talked about that at bat you were just talking about with Seager. He says he hit that ball right on the nose, but it was caught by the outfielder. He says that happens. It's going to turn for us. We just have to stay together. The players, they have to stick together.
Yeah, you know what? Blue Jays had a players-only meeting not long ago, and I don't know. You've been involved with them. I've been involved with them, and I don't know that you should have to have a meeting. You know, everybody should come ready to play every day. And yeah, things are going to be tough, but if you give it the same effort every single day, if you're good enough, you're going to turn things around.
I think they were just talking about reminding themselves, hey, you know, we're still in this. Let's don't panic. Let's just go out there and keep playing our game. They played great baseball the first half of the season. It seemed like the breaks were going their way. Lately, the breaks haven't been going their way. So just a little bit of a reminder to say, hey, let's stay together and just keep playing the game hard. Things will turn for us.
2-1 to Seager. High fly ball deep to center field. Pillar's breaking it down. He's just shy of the warning track. He'll make the catch, and Seager's retired. He hits that one almost 400 feet, but to dead center.
What a relief, if you will, to have Kevin Pillar back out in the outfield. You've got Grichuk, who plays a great right field, back over into that natural position, but you got Pillar back out in center field. Tim Leeper, the outfield coach, says, I don't even have to talk to Pillar anymore in the outfield. He is such a good defensive player, understanding situations. He can understand the hitters and positions himself accordingly.
You could see him just acknowledge Devin Travis, who is playing up the middle. Travis asked him, can you see the hitter? It's always important that the center fielder doesn't get blocked out either by the umpire or by the second baseman, because he watches the flight of the ball.
That's right. He watches
him get him a jump.
Flight of the ball going into home plate, and you can, if you're playing center field, you can be moving if you can see the flight of the ball and anticipating where the ball is going to be hit. There is almost a straight line from Martin to Estrada to Travis and Pillar into the outfield. Take a look at that.
The umpire's right in the middle of it as well. So Kevin Pillar, he's got to really focus on that hitter. Hopefully it doesn't get blocked off. Popped up over near the Blue Jays dugout. Russell Martin over to the edge of the dugout, and it's back out of play.
So my advice to Ryan Healy is don't hit the ball back through the middle. You got to beat 3 defenders.
It'll be tough to get it past those guys.
Yeah.
We mentioned Healy with 21 home runs this season. 14 of those homers have come right here at home at Safeco Field.
This is a big yard too. Big ballpark. Not really a home run hitter, but when you are home run hitter's ballpark, but when you're a home run hitter like this guy, you can hit it out of anywhere.
Just protecting that plate. He went after the changeup and bounced it foul. Marco Estrada's making just his 3rd career start here at Safeco Field. He's got a 1-1 record with an ERA just over 4. Cruz is not a threat to run. 1-2. Popped up. This one's on the infield. Shortstop Ledmus Diaz calls for it. Healy's retired. He popped up the changeup.
The 2018 Honda CR-V, where style and versatility come together.
Couldn't ask for a better weekend of weather here in Seattle. A little overcast in the morning, that burns off and the sun comes out and everybody is out and about, taking advantage of this great weather. This is Cameron Maben. Maben, originally a 1st-round pick of the Detroit Tigers way back in 2005. Came to the big leagues for the first time in 2007 as a 20-year-old. Changeup right on the outside corner. Maben was part of that big trade between the Marlins and the Tigers December 4th, 2007. Of course, the Tigers got Miguel Cabrera and Dontrell Willis in that trade. There was a big, tall, left-handed starter that went from Detroit to the Marlins as well, a fellow named Andrew Miller. He was the #1 pick of the Tigers as well.
Yeah, Miami didn't do too poorly in that trade either.
Edmund may have been caught looking. He was looking for that changeup, and his shot crossed him up. He got him with the heater. First strikeout of the ball game for Marco. Paxton grew up in British Columbia, and he was a big baseball player as a kid. He grew up in Ladner, BC. And if you're going to make your way down from the Vancouver area, you jump on the highway and you get on I-5, and it's about 214 kilometers from Ladner, BC to Safeco Field. And you can bet there have been a lot of Canadians have made their way down for this 4-game weekend series.
He was a Mariners fan growing up. Even though he was from Canada, he didn't really cheer for the Blue Jays. He did cheer for the Mariners, and he was saying the other day that he's trying to get more of his friends to become Mariner fans. How nice is that he is pitching so close to home?
Yeah, it's pretty special. And obviously, Blue Jays drafted him, but he did not sign with the Blue Jays. Blue Jays drafted him when he was pitching at University of Kentucky. This is Brandon Drury, the third baseman. He's late on that fastball. Ball on a strike to Drury. Drury's from the Northwest as well. He's from Southern Oregon, and he's got family and friends here. He's playing in Safeco Field for the first time. He too came here as a kid to watch the Mariners play. There's a strike. Boy, Paxton is really in a good tempo right now.
Working quickly, throwing strikes, and Blue Jays, they haven't been able to pick up that fastball. It's been on them the last couple of innings too quickly. Just can't let it go.
Paxton grew up playing catch with his dad, like so many of us. He used to go to Leslie Park in Ladner, and his dad would catch him. They always had trouble finding catchers that could handle James as a kid. He had that great breaking ball even as a kid. 2-2. They say at one point, as he was dominating all the teams he was facing, kids used to get in the box with 2 strikes, take a swing, and take off for first because the catcher could never catch that breaking ball. Full count now to Brandon Drury. Was after that outside pitch. Paxton got cut from his first summer league team, and then he made the North Delta Blue Jays in the BC Premier League, and that's when his career kind of took off. He would eventually pitch on the Canadian Junior National team and made his way to the University of Kentucky.
Boy, what if, right? If the Blue Jays could have signed him after as a supplemental first-round pick in 2009.
He looked pretty good in a Blue Jays uniform, as we have mentioned, and he has been dealing with injuries throughout his career, and it's just almost kind of an annual thing. 2014, he had a strained muscle on his back, missed a bunch of time. He had a tendon on his throwing hand in 2015. took a line drive off his elbow in 2016. He's had more than his share of injuries. That ball cut dramatically. Third strikeout of the game for Paxton, and Paxton is not alone as far as representing BC in the major leagues.
How about this hotbed of major league players who have come out of the BC area? You got some MVPs. I think you might have a future Hall of Famer in my book at Larry Walker. And he's going to be right there. Ryan Dempster, of course. Jason Bay, Paxton, Pavetta, Justin Morneau, the great Minnesota Twin. What a hotbed.
Oh, it's a great area, and obviously the weather conducive to playing a lot of ball. Their baseball season is much longer than it might be in Southern Ontario, for instance. This is Kevin Pillar. He returned to the active roster last night. Finished up that ball game. 0 for 3 with the sacrifice fly. He drove in a run in the 9th inning with that sac fly.
Said he felt like he had some pretty good swings in last night's ball game. Didn't come up with any hits, but he felt really satisfied on that sacrifice fly.
Jumps on that high pitch, and this ball is up, and off the wall. Pillar is headed for second, and he'll get there with a stand-up double. For Pillar, that's his 28th double of the season. It comes with one out here in the third.
Well, if he liked his sacrifice fly last night, he's really going to like this result. That's a high fastball from Paxton. He was able to somehow get on top of it. They want it up there. It's up out over the strike zone, and Pillar gets on top of it. Keeps that bat through on that high pitch and hits it over the head of Span, the left fielder, for extra bases.
Both hits that Paxton has surrendered so far have been doubles. Brando Grichuk batting with Pillar at second. He's after that first pitch. Boy, Grichuk has really turned things around. We mentioned in his last 9 games, he's hit .368 coming into this game. 14 for 38.
He has worked very hard with batting coach Brooke Jacoby on finishing his swing. Early in the year, he was hunching over at the plate. He was cutting his swing off, swinging, and then his arms were coming, boom, right back to his backside. What Brooke has tried to do with him is have him follow through and finish his swing and finish out in front with a little longer stroke.
That one's headed down the right side, and it's going to be in the seats out of play.
You know, it has helped, and I haven't seen all the numbers, but I got to figure he's right up at the top or the leader in exit velocity for this team, where the ball comes off his bat. He and Teoscar Hernandez have got to be neck and neck for the fastest off the bat.
Grichuk is 92.2 and Teoscar's 92.6. And there's a line drive that's going to get down and go right to the left fielder. Pillar had to throw on the brakes. Larry Rivera always watches where the ball is hit, and that was right at the left fielder, so there wasn't much of a chance for Pillar to score on the Grichuk single.
Yeah, Span, the left fielder, wasn't that deep, and he charged this ball. Watch him out in the left field, reads it, and he actually catches the ball on one hop. There is nothing you can do to try and score on that one. He was thinking about it. He got a good read off of second base. One of the tells that a third base coach will look at, does the outfielder have the ball before my runner hits the bag? And he did, so he has to throw up the stop sign.
So there are runners at the corners for Devin Travis, who doubled his first time up. Travis goes after that first pitch. Devin had a big night last night. He had an RBI single in the first, a 2-run home run in the 5th. Home run for Travis, his 7th.
Well, that was a good pitch right there. This is, I think, the blow of the game right here. Really opened this game up off of Marco Gonzalez. A little cutter on the inside part of the plate, didn't get there. And Devin beat him to it. His 7th home run, that was a missile to left field.
0-2 as he fouls it off. No score in this game. We're in the top of the third. Blue Jays are threatening to break out on top. Kevin Pillar doubled. He's at third. Grichuk singled. He's at first. Grichuk does a good job. He'll head to second. That gets the Blue Jays out of a double play situation with Grichuk moving up on the wild pitch.
James Paxton throws a spike curve, meaning his index finger spikes on top of that ball, and he spins it off his middle finger. That time he was going for the strikeout. See the finger in the glove there? Spins it, trying to get the strikeout, but holds on to it too long, and that gets the Blue Jays out of the double play.
Popped up, and that's going to be out of play. Well, Blue Jays have a chance now with 2 runners in scoring position. First game of this series on Thursday night, they were 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position and still scored 7 runs. Last night they were 3 for 9 scoring 7 runs. 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Travis is hanging tough against Paxton.
He can handle that ball away from him. They have stood him up at the plate just a little bit more, and they've tried to get Devin to get started a little early. He was late on a lot of pitches early on, trying to get his timing at the plate, so they said, hey, just start earlier. And it has worked. He has started to really hit like we've seen him over the last few years.
Right back up the middle, and that's going to score Pillar. Here comes Grichuk around third. He will score. Devin Travis is 2 for 2, and he's given the Blue Jays a 2-0 lead.
He had a 2-run hit the other night. He had the 2-run homer on last night, and now he's got a 2-run single. Watch him as he starts early. He just picks up his heel, keeps his toe on the ground, but he gets it started early, and that allows him all that pre-swing movement to get him out in front. Catch the ball out in front. Squeak it right under the glove of Paxton into center field for 2 more RBI.
Now Stottlemyre Jr., the pitching coach, has made his way out to the mound, and he's talking both to Zunino and Paxton. And as we mentioned, these two grew up in the system together. They have played in the minor leagues. They're playing in the big leagues now, and they know each other very well. But I'm sure Stottlemyre says, you know what, we got to mix up our pitches a little bit more effectively. Blue Jays have taken a 2-run lead here.
That's got the crowd into it.
Justin Smoke takes the first pitch strike. Devin Travis having a heck of a series. 7 RBIs in the 3 games so far.
I like him in the number 2 hole. He's going to get his share of fastballs. He can hit the ball the other way if you need to. Doesn't strike out a lot.
This rally here in the third started with 1 out. Paxton struck out Brandon Drury, his 3rd strikeout of the ball game, and then Pillar hit a double over the head of the left fielder, Denard Span. Grichuk had a base hit. Smoke reaches and pokes it into the seats. Kevin Pillar's first hit in 2 days off the disabled list. Drove in a run last night. Now he has scored a run with a double. Kendrys Morales not in the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, he was telling Pillar right there. He said that pitch was up here, and somehow you were able to stay on top of it. A lot of times you swing right through that or you pop it up. Kevin stayed through it and picked up another extra base hit.
Pillar's 28th double of the season. 1-2 to Smoke. Now it's even at 2-2. Well, the Blue Jays have really inflated the pitch count for James Paxton. He's now thrown 62 pitches already.
What do you throw in that no-hitter for 9 innings?
99.
99.
Bouncing ball. Segura lays back on it. He had wanted second, return throw. In time, Smoke is doubled up. Segura had to wait back and play it on the second big hop. They turned a double play, but Devin Travis, he's having some series against Seattle. 2 more runs. He's driven in 7 so far in 3 games.
As the best tennis players in the world converge on Toronto and Montreal. The Rogers Cup, presented by National Bank, begins Monday, right here on Sportsnet.
Thank you very much, Hazel. As the Blue Jay fans, they are decked out in on their Blue Jays gear, carrying a Canadian flag around. The players have done a nice job of interacting with the fans, especially the young fans. Marcus Stroman took a youngster in the clubhouse yesterday, introduced him to some of the players, got him some autographs. That was pretty cool.
I was talking to Alex Andropoulos, who handles a lot of duties for the Blue Jays, bullpen catcher, BP pitcher, charge of the baseballs. Said, how many balls do you go through in this ballpark here? He says, you don't want to know. He starts each day with 2 big buckets full of baseballs, and by the end of the day, both of them are almost all gone. Because the players are so, well, they hit a ton of home runs, but they're so, they love the fans here. They give away baseballs all the time.
Yeah. And you'll see the players and the coaches, they'll roll baseballs. There's Alex out in the bullpen. And Jason Phillips in the pen. But yeah, you'll see coaches and Blue Jay players, when they come off the field, they'll pick out a kid in the stands and flip him a baseball. You're right, they go through a lot of baseballs.
Yep, during batting practice, and the place is jammed for BP. The fans get here, they open the gates. By the time the Blue Jays get a chance to hit, that pitch looked like it might have been strike 3, but they jam it in here, and it's all Blue Jay fans, and they're asking for balls, and the players are happy to oblige.
Estrada strikes out Zunino. That's the first out of the bottom of the 3rd inning. Second strikeout in a row for Estrada, 2 on the night.
Thought he had him on the changeup on the previous pitch. I think the fastball is a big pitch for him. I was looking at some of the numbers from Estrada, trying to find a difference from last year to this year, and the only thing I could find out was the cutter. The ground ball percentage off of his cutter, it's down this year, and the fly ball percentage is up. That tells me that he just hasn't been able to throw that cutter where he needs to get strikes.
This is Andrew Romine making the start at second base, taking over for D. Gordon. Gordon has not been disabled. In fact, he played all 9 innings last night, but he's still hurting from that sprained ankle he suffered in the opener on Thursday. Gordon went 0 for 4 in the game last night, hit into a double play. He just didn't look right. He grounded out 3 times, including The fourth time he hit into double play, so he's out of the lineup. And he's a key cog in this offense for the Mariners. They're not scoring any runs, and they certainly don't need to have their leadoff man out long.
Yeah, he can do it all by himself without having to knock the ball out of the ballpark. He can walk, steal a couple of bases, advance extra bases. He can do different things for you offensively. He's now out of there tonight.
Romine lifts a fly ball to left. 2 away. When Estrada gets those weak fly balls, that really tells you his changeup is working very well. The hitters are off balance, they're off stride. He'll get pop-ups and weak fly balls. That's when he's really good.
That's another number that there's numbers for everything. That's another number that I was looking up. Is his pop-up percentage the same as last year? Pretty much so. On the changeup, they pop it up 16% of the time. The curveball about 19%. And the fastball 18%. That's a lot of pop-ups.
Yeah, and obviously when you're getting hitters to pop it up, there are not many line drives, and ball will stay in the ballpark for you. Gene Segura grounded out his first time up. Segura has scuffled lately with the bat, but he has reached base 11 of his previous 13 games against the Blue Jays, and has 7 multi-hit contests during those games. So he has hit the Blue Jays well. That's not been the case in this series. He made his second All-Star team this year, and he had a great game. Came off the bench and hit a home run in the All-Star game. Estrada's using that fastball very effectively early in this game.
Got to be able to read bats and read what the hitter's trying to do to you. Marco said he's sitting on my changeup. I'm going to throw him a couple of fastballs.
Segura in this series is now 1 for 10. 0 for 5 in the opener, 1 for 4 last night, and 0 for 1 so far tonight. Estrada's got him a little bit off stride. You can see how he's taking a very defensive swing. Like he's not really sure what you expect from Estrada. There's another fly ball into the outfield, not hit that deep. Segura broke his bat in frustration. Another easy inning for Marco Estrada. Mariners retired in order. We'll go to the 4th.
Fans are hoping they'll see at some point in the very near future. Now, one guy who I asked to help give us a bit of a scouting report is former teammate Ryan Borucki. Now, Borucki told me that Sean Reed-Foley comes as advertised, a hard thrower who consistently sits at 94, 97 with a little bit of giddy up at the end. He's got a really good curveball and slider, he tells me, and his changeup is a pitch Sean Reed-Foley can now rely on. Now, the last couple of starts Borucki has seen of him, he said said was really going after guys with his fastball. Then he puts you away with his off speed. I asked him what he's like off the mound. Borucki said he's a quiet guy, Buck, well-liked, and everything you'd want in a teammate. And that is your Borucki scouting report.
Sean Foley will turn 23 August 30th. He was born in Guam but grew up in Florida. And he is much like Ryan Borucki in his path through the minor leagues. He had some setbacks early. He made some adjustments, and he's throwing the ball very well. He is 7-3 at AAA Buffalo after his promotion. He made 14 starts in AAA after 8 good starts in AA. He was 5-0 with a 203 earned run average in New Hampshire, and then he was pushed up to AAA.
Now that was a farm report from Hazel. Hazel, great job. You got the rest of them the rest of the season.
Borucki would never say this, but he's had a pretty dramatic impact on Sean Reed Foley. Foley is very intense and very quiet, but he had a problem just keeping everything inside of him. And Ryan Borucki said, hey man, just relax and trust your stuff, have fun. And you know, of course, Ryan has done that his whole life, and he is very confident on the mound. Picked up his first big league win in the game last night, going 8 innings. But he had this chat with Reed Foley earlier, and it's had an impact on the young right-hander. So the Blue Jays have some players, and I talked to Tony LaCava. You saw Tony LaCava, who's here with the ball club, and he's going to make a tour around the minor league system to see all these players. And his goal at this time of the year is to see just how much improvement there has been with some of the individuals that are playing in the minor leagues.
He's out in this area. He's going to go down to California and watch some of the area code games. There's a good pitch from Paxton. You watch those players. There's Tony right there sitting next to Jay Stenhouse. He's in the area. He's going to be scouting some of the young players now who are eligible for the draft next year. He's going to watch them now and see how they progress towards next year before the draft. He does a great job. Finds players. He's been doing it a long time.
He's the senior vice president of baseball operations and assistant general manager. He's in his 16th season with the Blue Jays, and he joined the Blue Jays October 15th of 2002. And he's a good baseball man, and he has done a nice job.
The area code games are coming up. There's also a showcase, ball lifted to right field, called Perfect Game. And that's down in San Diego, and it was in the perfect game. And Tony said he was there, that he saw Jordan Groshans, the #1 pick of the Blue Jays, who hit a home run in those games at San Diego at the ballpark there where the big league team plays. So they watched him for the year, and they thought enough of him to pick him in the first round.
And Groshans is in the Gulf Coast League, and he has not disappointed the Blue Jays front office with the way he has gotten off to his start in his professional career. Russ Martin goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Russell struck out back in the second. But there are a lot of players that are really under the radar for the Blue Jays in the minor league system because everybody's focused on the names Guerrero, Bichette, Biggio. Bounce back to Paxton. He knocks it down, recovers, and throws to first for the out. So James Paxton, after giving up 2 runs in the third, retires the side in order in the fourth. Lance McCullers Jr. left the ballgame after 4 innings, no runs and 2 hits, and that suggests that he might have suffered some sort of injury. Brad Peacock has come into the ballgame. He has 3 strikeouts in an inning and 2/3. The Mariners, they have really hit the skids here of late. They have fallen out of the playoff picture as we speak. Houston has a 5-game lead over Oakland. And these 3 teams in the West are going to play each other a lot before it's all said and done. Houston, they are missing some of their key players. Their shortstop and second baseman both on the disabled list, Altuve and Correa. So there's nobody that's really hitting on all 8 cylinders except the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, they just keep rolling right along. They got George Springer back, Houston, but they lost the starting pitcher today. In Seattle, since July 1st, they have really been spinning their wheels. They've lost 15 of 22 in what looked like a lock to be a playoff type of team. Not so much.
Oakland has come on, and despite the fact they were swept in Colorado in a 3-game series, they've moved into that second wild card spot. Denard Span lifts a high fly ball to right. 1 away.
Save big at the outdoor living event at Home Hardware, on from July 25th to August 7th. Here's how.
That is Mount Rainier in the distance on a gorgeous Saturday night here in Seattle. This ballpark is spectacular. They did a terrific job of designing and developing and completing this ballpark. But there is a huge controversy going around surrounding this ballpark and the renovations they have in mind. I don't know about you, Pat, but I don't see any areas where they really need to renovate anything. It's really spectacular.
What needs to be renovated? I saw that article. They're thinking about spending, what, $800 million in renovations here?
Yep, they want to renovate it and bring it all up to date, but it's a pretty special place. But the amenities, I think they want to change some of the suites and some of the dining areas, make a private club here, kind of an exclusive dining area. But $800 million, you could build a stadium for that. Start fresh.
This is one of the most beautiful stadiums, I think, in all of baseball. And especially for us, our view of the ball field from where we sit, right about there, it's one of the best in all of baseball. It's called Sightlines, and you can see everything. It's just a gorgeous view from where we sit.
And of course, that's the only thing we care about. How our broadcast booth is. But it is a beautiful place for the players. The players love playing here. The fans love it. The retractable roof gives it the open air stadium feeling. And it is a roof, and it is truly open air. It is more like a sliding roof that just covers the ballpark, covers the playing field in case of rain. But it is not climate controlled by any means.
Ooh.
We have all kinds of different locations in broadcast facilities around baseball, but this is one of the best. It's just a big, comfortable booth. The sightlines are perfect. You can see every aspect of the ballpark. The writing media, they're below us a floor.
We're far enough away from foul balls, right? We don't have to worry about that for the most part. What a pitch.
Breaking ball gets Haniger. Third strikeout for Estrada. Second out of the inning.
He showed everything he had in his arsenal to Mitch Haniger to get him out, and then finally drops that curveball right on the outside corner. Even if he tried to swing at this, there was not much he was going to do with it.
Russell Martin doing a good job of mixing up the pitches. Marco Estrada leaves the pitch selection to his catchers. He doesn't shake anybody off. 2 outs. Here is Nelson Cruz. He walked his first time up. The only walk that Estrada has surrendered. Fly ball deep to center field. Pilar at the track. He's got room. He makes the catch. Estrada had it measured perfectly. Cruz hit it 400 feet, but it's the third out of the inning. We'll go to the fifth. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker in the Samsung broadcast studio.
MLB.tv is now available at a lower price. For $59.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB At-Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer. Buck, some news around baseball to share with you. The Athletics' Ken Rosenthal reporting that Angels manager Mike Scioscia expected to step down at the end of the season. His 19-year run in Anaheim, the longest since Bobby Cox managed 21 straight seasons with the Braves.
Well, Mike Scioscia's had quite a run with the Angels, and in this day and age when everybody turns over their managing and coaching crew quite often, Scioscia's been the exception. There's a drive to left field. Span is on to run. Get up, ball. Get up. Get out of here. Gone. Another home run for Diaz. He is swinging it. The Blue Jays have now homered in all 9 games on this road trip. That's their 16th home run of the trip.
Paxton doesn't give up many home runs. So when you hit him, you got to feel pretty good about yourself. He was telling me yesterday, he says, I'm trying to hit the ball the other way. I'm trying to stay on the ball. I naturally can turn on fastballs. And then when pitchers make mistakes, that ball can really jump off of his bat. What a road trip Aledmys Diaz has put together.
His 4th home run of the trip. This ball is going to be a base hit. Haniger knocks it down. Drury has himself a hit. That's his first hit of the series, an opposite field single.
Aledmys turns on that pitch out over the plate, and he knows he got that one. He can break it down right away, because that one's not coming back.
For Diaz, that's his 13th home run, and a frustrating moment for James Paxton. Diaz's career high in homers was his rookie season in 2016. He hit 17. So he's just 4 off that mark. And the Blue Jay fans are back at it again here in the 5th.
You know, you touched on it a couple of innings ago about the Blue Jays and all their extra base hits lately. Over the last 3 weeks, only the Athletics have had more extra base hits than the Blue Jays. Coming into this game, the Athletics had 74 extra base hits. Blue Jays have 3 more now. They're up to 73. That's starting to come alive.
The home run, as we mentioned, the 16th home run for the Blue Jays on this trip. They've homered in all 9 games of the road trip. Kevin Pillar, he had a double his first time up. He scored the first run of this game in the 3rd. Devin Travis drove in a pair with a single. Pilar swings and misses. First out of the inning. 5 strikeouts now for Paxton. Randall Grichuk had a base hit his last time up. He went too far. Going after that first pitch, trying to check his swing.
Well, that is a tough pitch to pick up. Nasty. Big break.
Stay hot, Russell. Randall Grichuk breaks his bat as he shatters the bat. Grichuk with his second hit of the night. He's now 2 for 3.
Randall had 4 hits in last night's game, 3 of them infield hits, and the other one a double off the end of the bat down the right field line. This time off the end of the bat, shatters his bat into 2 pieces. And he's going to have another hit. What a turnaround it has been for Grichuk this season. On June the 2nd, he came off the disabled list on June the 1st. June the 2nd, look at his average, .099. Since then, he's hit .285, lots of extra base hits, and hitting with runners in scoring position.
On this road trip, Grichuk is now 13 for 36. That's a .361 average in 9 games. And here's Devin Travis. He's perfect already tonight, 2 for 2 with a 2-run single. He had a double in the first and a 2-run single in the third. Devin has driven in 7 runs in this series. Ground ball. Seager at third. Second for 1. Romine to first. Double play. So Travis bounces into the inning-ending double play. But Diaz, he gets one in the air, and the fans help it out. Get up, ball. Get up. Get out of here. 3-0 Blue Jays. Presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Been quite a weekend for the Blue Jay fans. Jays won Thursday night, they won Friday night, and they have a 3-0 lead here on Saturday night. It comes on the heels of being swept in Oakland. Kyle Seager hits another high fly ball. Not that deep in center. Seager is out on 1 pitch here in the 5th.
Well, when you see those lazy fly balls and those easy pop-ups, you know that he's got a lot of these Mariner hitters out on their front foot. Changing speeds. There's the numbers right there. The out distribution, 8 fly balls, and a lot of those just those easy fly balls into the outfield.
Ryan Healy, the first baseman. Russell's doing a heck of a job of messing with the hitters' minds. They're looking off speed. He throws them a fastball. They look for the changeup. He throws them a cutter. Russell's doing a good job of mixing up pitches tonight. I asked Russell about his season. Obviously not gone the way he would like offensively, but he says, I feel great. And that has a lot to do with the fact that Luke Maile has improved his game, where he has become a very good backup catcher. Ground ball to third. Drury has it. Easy play. 2 up, 2 down.
So Russell's getting more rest, so he's feeling stronger.
Indeed. I looked around baseball, and the game has changed now. There are very few quote-unquote everyday catchers. In fact, there are only 5 catchers in the major leagues that have played 80 or more games. So they are using the position as a 2-man position more now than ever. And Russell said even at his advanced age, he feels better and feels confident now with Maile calling the game. Luke comes in, does a good job. You don't really miss a beat with him behind the plate. And Luke last year was playing with a bad knee, and he just wasn't quite healthy enough. But this year he's had a fine season, and he's playing the role of a backup catcher very well. Marco Estrada is dealing right now.
Cameron Maven doesn't know what to look for. Now 0-2, 2 beautiful changeups. They have a third one in them. There it is.
Right off the end of the bat. Easy play for Estrada. 5 in the books for Marco Estrada. The Mariners have had 1 base runner. That was a walk on a gorgeous night.
Safeco as Sam Gaviglio takes the mound tomorrow. It all starts with Blue Jays Central at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific time. And tomorrow also marks the debut of the Blue Jays on Omni, featuring the game call in the Filipino dialect of Tagalog, only on Omni starting at 4 Eastern. Buck.
That's a very important launch, as we have a third language for Blue Jays games, and you can see it on the Omni network. And Blue Jay fans, it's a diverse fan base for sure. And they have come out to support the Blue Jays here in Seattle. We go to the 6th. The Jays have a 3-0 lead. Marco Estrada is out pitching James Paxton. Paxton has allowed 3 runs on 7 hits. He has given up a home run to Aledmus Diaz, a pair of doubles, Travis and Pilar. Smoke cuts on that high fastball. It could be a much different game, but the Blue Jays have hit into 3 inning-ending double plays. in the first, third, and fifth.
A lot of base runners so far against Paxton.
Soft ground ball to short. Segura has time, throws Smoke out, one away. The Mariners got a good pitching performance from Marco Gonzalez last night. He gave up 4 runs on 7 hits. He pitched 7 innings. Barucki outpitched him. Barucki went 8 innings, allowing just 1 run and an unearned run on 4 hits over 8 innings. Brian Barucki picked up his first big league win. Gonzalez picked up his 6th loss of the season.
How about that? The first 2 games in this series, the Blue Jays had pitchers win their first major league games. What are the chances of that? Like Housechild with his first big league win.
In his 5th big league appearance. They're not really sure how they're going to use Housechild next. He is not in the bullpen tonight because he threw 90 pitches in that relief outing on Thursday. But he will be in the pen tomorrow if needed. Sam Gaviglio on the right, he will make the start. But Housechild, no runs, 4 hits, 6 innings, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. He was impressive. Teoscar swings and misses and strikes out. 2 away.
The 2018 Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
One of the great sunset in the Northwest up here with Vancouver, Seattle, San Francisco, all on the West Coast. A spectacular view as the sun goes down west of Seattle. And there's Solarte. Swings and misses the first pitch. Solarte has gone 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Paxton now has struck out 6. Waves at that breaking ball. It's 0-2. This is the 2nd start for Paxton since coming off the disabled list. His first start was a good one. 7 innings, no runs on 3 hits against the Astros. It hasn't been so smooth for him tonight.
Yeah, he's had his share of base runners. You mentioned the double plays. That has been his best friend. He threw 82 pitches in those 7 innings that last start against Houston. 8 strikeouts, no walks.
Solarte swings and misses. A couple of strikeouts in the inning. Blue Jays go down in order. Paxton has 7 strikeouts, but he trails by 3.
Double play combo tonight for the Blue Jays, but with the influx of infielders rotating in and out of those positions, infield coach Lou Rivera told me the starting combo now practices turning double plays during batting practice. Devin Travis, who's been paired up with Gurriel Jr., Solarte, Drury, and Diaz this season, told me it's a way to get comfortable with your partner pregame. You get an idea of how the ball is being fed to you, the angle at which it's being fed to you, and where around the bag they'd like the baseball. The new routine routine has benefited everyone, Travis said. Rivera told me in between innings, if he needs to say something to the pair, it's usually regarding their positioning if he sees it's a little bit off. Other than that, Buck, they're on their own. It's up to them, Rivera told me, to make any in-game adjustments.
It's all about communication, and our game has been going on a long time, and the middle infielders have always had to work together and communicate. Marco Estrada, he is communicating very well with Russ Martin so far. The Mariners still looking for their first hit. They have one base runner. It was a leadoff walk to Nelson Cruz in the second. That's it. Mike Zunino struck out in the third. Hits this one down the left field line. That ball is a foul ball.
Look, here's some more good news for the Blue Jays when you're talking about infielders. Lourdes Gurriel's scheduled to take some ground balls on the field tomorrow. Balls hit right at him. They don't want him moving right now. The knee's fine. The ankle's still a little bit sore. But that is good news. He is healing very quickly from the injuries that he had sustained in Chicago. So that's good news.
Zunino foul tips it off the mid of Russell Martin. You know what? You saw Luis Rivera there, and Louis will never complain that he's got too many good infielders. He's going to help everybody, try to keep everybody as sharp. Yeah, playing time is going to be tough to come by. But you know what? You want to play? Get some hits. Aledmus Diaz, Devin Travis, right now they're getting some hits. And you know who put the pressure on them? Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
That's right. He was playing when he was hot. Now they're trying to take advantage of that situation.
You know, everybody says, well, how are the Blue Jays going to sort things out? Players will sort things out. They know what's at stake. Playing time. And Everest Solarte might be the guy that's on the short end of the stick.
You know, that's John Gibbons' job to figure out the best combinations. They've used 9 different combinations, second, short, and third over the last 9 games. And he will put you in there and he will ride the hot hand. He's been doing it for years, and there's nothing wrong with a little competition.
Popped up back behind the screen and out of play. Competition generally breeds good teams. The more good players you have, the more competition there is, and when you have good competition, you're going to have success. I don't think anybody ever felt like, well, you know, I'm the everyday third baseman, but when you don't have superstars, and they've got some of their stars on the DL, players are battling for playing time. Coming into this season, it was thought that Troy Tulowitzki would play shortstop, Josh Donaldson would play second, and Devin Travis would probably play, or Donaldson would play third, Travis would play second. Breaking ball called strike 3. Zunino didn't like it. It was a late call by Mike Winters, the home plate umpire. But Zunino is called out on strikes. He's gone down on strikes both times so far.
That's twice tonight now. On a 3-2 count, he has dropped that curveball on the outside corner. Changing things up just a little bit, showing some confidence in that curveball to throw it 3-2, and he catches another hitter. Watching.
Andrew Romine is late on that first pitch fastball at 88, right top of the zone. Back and forth. Fastball changeup.
It's better for Estrada when those pitchers or the hitters trying to hit him, chasing his ball around the strike zone.
0-2.
And by that I mean you can read their bats and you can see them. They're looking for the fastball. And at least Romine, and now he's way out in front of that changeup, and he's just wailing at and flailing at those pitches.
Yeah, there aren't too many swings with a lot of conviction in this lineup tonight against Estrada.
Like they don't have a plan, that they're just seeing the ball and just swinging.
Popped up. Russ Martin coming out from behind home. Smoke for first baseman, calls for it. Romine's retired, 2 away here in the 6th. Another out on a fly ball. A little pop up on the infield. Gene Segura, the shortstop for the M's, is 0 for 2. He goes after the first pitch and hits a fly ball to left. Teoscar Hernandez is there. Marco Estrada, through 6 innings, has a 3-0 lead. The Mariners don't have a base hit. WestJet rewards can take you. Redeem your WestJet dollars to over 450 partner destinations around the globe. Join today at WestJet.com/rewards. Marco Estrada, a 4-inning outing last time out. This is his 2nd outing since coming off the DL, and the Mariners don't have a hit yet. 81 pitches through 6 innings. He walked 1 batter. That's the only base runner the Mariners have had. That was a leadoff walk to Nelson Cruz in the 2nd. Estrada has really baffled this Mariner lineup.
No limitations on him tonight either, meaning there's no problems with the pitch count after that 4-inning outing his last time out. Well, take it as far as you can run with it.
Ball and a strike to the Blue Jays catcher Russ Martin, who's having a good night calling the game. So far at the plate as a hitter, he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Ground ball up the middle. That'll be a base hit for Martin. For Russell, that's his 12th hit in his last 11 games.
He was telling me today that he is seeing the ball better. The swing feels right. Swinging better short. He is on everything. Bangs this one back through the middle to lead off the 7th inning with another hit. Blue Jays have had a lot of base runners tonight against James Paxton.
Sam Tuilavala is loosening up. We saw him earlier in this series. He pitched on Thursday night. Had a good inning. Allowed a hit. Had a strikeout. Aledmus Diaz homered his last time up. Had a good cut at that pitch. Diaz hit his 13th home run in the 5th inning off Paxton. Ground ball. Seager at 3rd. 2nd for 1. Romine back to 1st. A double play. That's the 4th double play the Mariners have turned behind James Paxton tonight. Seager had a rough game in the field last night. Romine starting at 2nd in place of D. Gordon.
So when you have a rough night, you come out here and you take extra ground balls, and that's what Kyle did this afternoon. Was out here working on his ground balls, and it has worked. That is the 3rd one that he has started. 3 of the 4 double plays started by Kyle Seager.
Paxton delivers a first pitch strike to Brandon Drury. Drury had an opposite field base hit in the 5th, his first hit in this series. Drury opened up this series playing shortstop on Thursday night. He was back at third base last night. That's where he's at tonight. Breaking ball for strike 2. Another line drive to right. Haniger backing up, and that'll do it. So the Blue Jays are done in the top half of the 7th. They have grounded into 4 double plays, but they have the lead. Marco Estrada will take the hill in the 7th with a 3-run advantage. Honda Odyssey with available Honda Vac. It always bats cleanup.
Ledmus Diaz at the plate to lead off the 5th inning, and for the 4th time on this road trip, he is going to go big fly with this long home run to left field, estimated at 395 feet and exit velocity of 104. Ledmus Diaz once again with a home run, tonight's drive of the game.
You mentioned Diaz has had a fine road trip, 4 home runs on the road trip. He's also doubled. He's driven in 5. Marco Estrada. There was the first pitch, and Randall Grichuk over to his right. He runs it down. That's the closest thing the Mariners have had to a base hit. Estrada throwing a lot of first pitch strike. The defense on their toes, well aware that the Mariners don't have a hit yet.
Yeah, he didn't really get this one. It was a little bit more off the end of the bat. That's why it laid up there and stayed up there for Grichuk to get a good jump and run it down for the first out. Randall is a very good outfielder. We're really seeing all of his tools lately.
I think Randall Grichuk could play center field on a regular basis. He has in the past. He played center field in St. Louis. And he's a good athlete and looking more and more comfortable with every game here in Toronto. There's the first hit of the ball game. Mitch Haniger got a breaking ball and hits it just inside the bag at third base. That breaks up the no-hitter for Marco Estrada. He no-hit the Mariners through 6 1/3. And he has received the good round of applause from the Blue Jay fans here. They recognize what was at stake.
Yeah, an excellent outing so far. He's been painting that outside corner, and you can see where Russell holds that mitt for that curveball, but it ends up over the inside part of the plate, right where Mitch Haniger likes it. He has been dotting that outside corner all night, especially to those righties with that slow curveball. That time he misses his spot. He's going to give up his first hit.
The 18th double of the season for Haniger comes with 1 out here in the 7th.
He's had some strikeouts with that pitch. That one just stayed in the middle of the plate, and nothing anybody can do about that.
So Henniger's just the second base runner for Seattle. He reaches with 1 out here in the 7th. Nelson Cruz at the plate. He walked in the 2nd. He was the only other Mariner hitter to reach base.
First time they have a runner out at second base. So Russell Martin wanted to make sure they were both on the same page. Goes out there to go over the signs. Make sure they all know what they're using.
First pitch changeup floats in there for strike 1. Ryan Tepera first up for the Blue Jays tonight. Ken Giles got in a game last night and had 3 strikeouts in his inning of work. Ground ball right to the shortstop, Diaz. 2 away. It is a perfect evening here at Safeco Field and a wonderful setting for baseball. Big crowd on hand, biggest of the series so far, 41,238. Game 3 of this 4-game series. The Blue Jays have a 3-0 lead over Seattle. Kyle Seager, the third baseman. He's flied out twice to center field. Marco Estrada with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th.
He's been hitting the ball hard this series, Kyle Seager. Be careful with him. Good changeup. They are in that pull situation with the left-handed hitting Seager up. You can see Diaz, Travis, and Smoke on the right side. StatCast AI is powered by AWS. He beat the shift earlier in this series with a ball to shortstop, but a little bit different type of pitcher tonight in Marco Estrada. A lot of changeups.
Ball and a strike to Seager. 0 for 2. Popped up. Smoke in foul territory. Gives way to the second baseman, Devin Travis. Third time this season, Marco Estrada has gone 7 innings. He's allowed just 1 hit, a 1-out double here in the 7th. That's been it. Charged with 3 earned runs on 8 hits, walked the batter, and struck out 7. He threw 105 pitches, and had it not been for 4 double plays, it could have been much worse. Blue Jays grounding into 4 double plays for the first time this season. The Jays have a 3-0 lead.
Lots of base runners against Paxton tonight, but he made pitches when he had to. He will give way to Sam Tuivailala. We saw Valala the other day. Tuivailala threw an inning, gave up a leadoff double to Teoscar Hernandez, then retired the Blue Jays in order, one of them with a strikeout. He's got good stuff. They picked him up from the St. Louis Cardinals earlier this season. Basically fastball, slider, curveball. He's got good command and a very good arm. But what's new? Coming out of the bullpen for the Seattle Mariners, they got a lot of flamethrowers.
It'll be 9-1 cheer for the Blue Jays here in the 8th as they are enjoying a 3-0 lead. Kevin Pillar goes after the first pitch, chops it toward third, and Seager. The only play he had was to hope it would go into foul territory. He wasn't going to throw out Kevin Pillar. He let it roll past him, and it hits third base. Second hit of the ball game for Pillar.
He had some thoughts of maybe trying to pick this ball up and make a play over at first base. Then he said, oh, that's right, Pillar's running. I'm not going to be able to throw him out, so I'm going to let it go, hopeful that that ball will go foul. It hits the corner of the bag. That's an infield hit for Kevin Pillar. That is a hopeless feeling, I'm telling you, as a third baseman. You have no play on an easy grounder like that.
Back to the top of the order. Randall Grichuk jumps back from an inside heater. Blue Jays now with 9 hits. They've out-hit the Mariners 9-1. Mariners have really struggled offensively of late. Of course, they have not had Robinson Cano for about 80 games. He has been suspended. He is eligible to rejoin the Mariners on August 14th. Scott Service recognizes he's got good hitters in their lineup, and he said sooner or later the offense has got to get going. We expect them to turn it around. Grichuk breaks his bat. This one's going to be caught by the shortstop. Randall is 2 for 4.
Save big at the outdoor living event at Home Hardware, on from July 25th to August 7th. Here's how.
Beautiful shot of downtown Seattle, just a few blocks away from Safeco Field. It has not turned completely dark here just yet, as the skylight is still lit up and lighting up the downtown area. What a series for Devin Travis. He had a 2-run single in the 3rd inning to give him 7 RBIs in this series.
I just get the feeling the Blue Jays want to get that add-on run. They scored late the last couple of games here, late to really bust open the games against the Mariners. I just have a feeling they want to do something here. It's a good combination if they want to try and hit and run.
There goes Pillar, and Zunino can't come up with it. For Pillar, that'll be his 12th stolen base. I'm not sure if that was a hit and run or not. It didn't look like a straight steal jump. It looked like he was a little bit late, like it was a hit and run.
Like it was a hit and run, but I think Travis recognizes that this ball is going to bounce in the dirt. So no chance to play hit and run, no chance to put yourself in a hole. Just take it, which he does, and now he can hit with a runner at second base.
That one goes back to the backstop, and Pillar will go to third. Boy, that changes the complexion of this inning dramatically. An infield single, a stolen base, a wild pitch.
Blue Jays haven't hit the ball out of the infield yet, and they've got a runner at third base, less than 2 outs, and now a long fly ball will get them that add-on run.
Let's see, first wild pitch charge to Tuivailala this season. 3-1 count to Travis. Breaking ball, swings and misses. Marco Estrada still into the game. He's only thrown 89 pitches, and he has allowed but 1 hit. Anxious to come back for the 8th inning.
Nobody's sitting by him, talking to him. He is in his own zone right now.
Travis takes ball 4. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update for us. For Chris Davis, a 30 home run. It's 3 years in a row he's hit 30 or more home runs for Oakland. That's the first Oakland player since Tejada did it way back in 2002.
He has a chance to go 40 3 years in a row now.
2-1 ball game. Justin Smoke turns around and bats left-handed for the first time. We're in the 8th inning. Blue Jays have a 3-0 lead. Now it's a 4-0 lead. Smoke with an RBI single. Pilar comes in to score. An add-on run here in the 8th.
Justin Smoke has really swung the bat well on this road trip. That's another RBI for the big first baseman. You've got a runner at third base, a runner at first base. They got to hold him on. Look at the hole he can shoot for. He takes advantage of it by yanking that ball into right field for another hit, another run for the Blue Jays. That's how you get the head out right there and pull it to right field.
4-0 Jays. Trying to make it 3 in a row against Seattle here. Fifth time on this road trip the Blue Jays have had double-digit hits. This is their 9th game. Coming into this game as a team, they were hitting .256. Offense starting to come around again. They have homered tonight, and that stretches their streak on this road trip to 9 games with a home run. They've homered in every game. There goes Travis. The throw to third is in time. Mike Walensky, the third base umpire, calls out Travis. The throw was in a perfect spot. Walensky calls out Travis, and he's not ready to leave. They're going to wait and have the Blue Jays look at the video review, see if they want to challenge this call at third. Zunino made a strong throw.
He's thrown out 30% of the base runners trying to steal against him. He backs off with the right-handed batter swinging. Travis trying to pick up an extra 90 feet is called out on that high tag. Looks like he got him right there before he's on the bag. Good call.
Now the Blue Jays will not challenge the call as Travis is caught stealing at third.
It's a high tag, but Devin's not there yet. An inch, maybe.
Hernandez strikes out, but the Blue Jays get an RBI single from Justin Smoke. They'll take a 4-0 lead to the bottom of the 8th. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Cliff Floyd in the Samsung broadcast studio.
160 other marquee MLB matchups on every screen with Sportsnet Now. Visit snnow.ca to sign up today. Back up to the booth. Let's check in once again with Buck Martinez and Pat Talbot.
Thank you very much, Hazel May. A beautiful crowd here tonight, and they have been entertained by Marco Estrada. 7 innings, 1 hit, no runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. He's thrown 89 pitches. Marco, for the 3rd time this season, has gone 7 innings. The longest outing for a Blue Jays starter this year is 8 1/3. That was a Jay Happ start on the 20th of June against the Braves. How about this series? Ryan Borucki goes 8 last night. Just the 2nd opportunity to get deep into a game, and Aaron Sanchez threw 8 innings on the 10th of April against Baltimore. Borucki 8 innings last night against Seattle. Jay Happ 8 1/3. That's the longest outing of the season for Blue Jays starter. Marco Estrada pitching into the 8th here. Falls behind the leadoff man, 3-0. Ryan Healy has popped out and grounded out to 3rd.
They need some base runners, Seattle, so I'm sure he's taking this one, and it is ball 4.
Just the 2nd walk issued by Estrada, only the 3rd base runner, and that's going to be it for Marco. So John Gibbons has come out of the dugout. He was going to give Estrada a chance to get deeper in this game, but a full pitch walk to the leadoff man here in the 8th inning, and that'll do it. Ryan Tepera will come on, and what an outing for Marco Estrada. He and Russell Martin baffled this Mariner lineup. True. Coming off the disabled list, and he was dominant. Gets another handshake from the skipper, John Gibbons. He allowed just 3 base runners, a 1-out double, the only hit that came in the 7th inning. He has walked 2 batters, and now he'll turn things over to Ryan Tepera.
Tepera pitched here on Thursday night, finished up that ball game, that 7-3 win by the Blue Jays. He gave up a double to the pinch hitter Romine in the 9th inning, then ended it on a comebacker by Gene Segura. Tepera now settling back in as the 8th inning man for John Gibbons' team. Gibby was saying today Giles is going to be his closer.
Ball on the strikes, you Camden Maben. Breaking ball for strike 2. The Blue Jays have won 3 of the 5 games these two teams have played to this point of the season. They're trying to make it 3 in a row here in Seattle.
Ryan is basically cutter, two-seamer. He can make the ball sink where he can get those ground balls, or he can cut his fastball against righties and see if he can get him to hit it off the end of the bat.
That's going to drop for a base hit off the end of the bat of Cameron Maben. Healy goes first to third. Runners at the corners. Nobody out here in the 8th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. And not exactly what John Axford had in mind as the Dodgers debut didn't go so well. Axford faced 7 batters and 6 runs scored. Mike Zunino, the catcher, he's got some power. Blue Jays with a 4-run lead. Boy, that extra run in the 8th. A very big run right now.
I think Gibby understands that, how important those add-on runs were. That's why they started the runner and they were able to squeeze out a run. He knows this is a good Mariners offense that haven't been clicking lately.
Yeah, sooner or later they're going to break out.
Yes.
They got too many good hitters in their lineup.
Their last 15 games, they've scored more than 3 runs just 3 times. This is too good of an offense, so anytime you have a chance to get some add-on runs, you have to take advantage of it.
Chris Herman, the backup catcher, has come out on deck. He will bat for Andrew Romine. 2-1 to Zunino. Boy, he gets jammed and really got jammed inside. He lost that game saver, that little thumb protector. Nobody loosening up for the Blue Jays. They have that 4-run lead. Patera walked the leadoff man. Tyler Clippard is going to start throwing now. A walk and a single, nobody out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Breaking ball, Zunino strikes out for a 3rd time tonight.
A well-placed cutter. He doesn't really call it a slider, does Ryan Tepera. He says it's my cutter. And it cuts right on the outside part of the plate, picks up a big strikeout.
So now there are runners at the corners with 1 out. Chris Herman, a backup catcher, will get the at-bat. He is batting for the second baseman, Andrew Romine. Herman is 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter this season. 209 on the regular season. He's 9 for 43. He has a home run. There's that cutter again, 89 miles an hour.
Yeah, with movement and late movement. And watching the infield communicate on who's covering second base on ground balls where. And if there happens to be a ground ball to Drury, the third baseman, Ledmus Diaz is going to make the pivot at second base because he is pulled over in the shift, if you will. Maben is a threat to steal, but being down by 4 runs now, you can't afford to make outs on the bases.
Fly ball is center. Healy is going back to tag at third. Pilar is coming in and he'll concede the run. So Healy comes in to score. Herman with a sac fly. That's his first pinch hit RBI of the season. The Mariners are on the board here in the 8th. That leadoff walk coming in to score. That run will be charged to Marco Estrada. So the book on Estrada is now closed. 7 innings plus a batter.
What a night. He really had him guessing, didn't he?
And then off stride all night long. Gene Segura, he's had a rough series to this point. Just one hit in the series. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Two. So Marco Estrada gives up 1 earned run on 1 hit, walks 2, and strikes out 4. He's in line for the win. 16, it would be his 5th of the season.
16 in a row he set down in the middle innings, and there wasn't any hard contact against him tonight.
The double, the only hit he surrendered, was a ground ball past third base down the left field line. Mitch Haniger hit a breaking ball, a hanger that stayed inside, and that came with 1 out in the 7th. That broke up the no-hit bid. There goes the runner made, and strike 3 called Segura. That'll end the inning. So Tepera gets a couple of strikeouts. Marco Estrada is in line for the win, 4-1. The Blue Jays will take that lead into the 9th.
It's on Sportsnet. Presented by Honda at the Model Clearout event. The real victory lap is the drive home.
Ninth inning here in Seattle. New pitcher for the Mariners is James Pazos. Pazos pitched the 9th inning on Thursday night, and he gave up a couple of runs. He gave up 3 runs on 3 hits.
Yeah, but only one of them was earned because of the errors that they kicked around on the infield. And speaking of that infield, there is a lot of changes after that pinch hitter, Chris Herman, hit in the bottom of the inning.
Herman takes over at first. The third baseman, Kyle Seager, moves from third to second. The first baseman, Ryan Healy, moves from first to third. Healy played third base for Oakland last year before moving across the diamond to play first here for Seattle. So a lot of defensive changes. Yannivis Solarte will lead things off for the Blue Jays in the 9th. He is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Only Teoscar Hernandez and Solarte in the starting lineup don't have hits tonight. Blue Jays have 4 runs on 10 hits. The Mariners a single run on just 2 hits. The Blue Jays were swept at the hands of the Oakland A's in the previous series. In fact, they lost all 7 games against Oakland this season. Now they look like a different ball club here in Seattle.
Totally different. You know, they were playing poorly in Oakland. There wasn't a lot of fire, it just seemed. In fact, they had to have a players-only meeting after one of the games in Oakland, where they come here against a team that's trying to get into the playoffs, and they're playing like world beaters.
In Oakland, they were outscored 10-1, 6-2, 8-3, losing the 3-game series. And it might not have even been that close. It's been a different story since they've come to Seattle. Everybody's on the top step of the dugout. The Blue Jay fans here at Safeco Field have certainly energized this ball club. Ground ball that jams Solarte. And he is thrown out easily. He is 0 for 4. One out in the ninth.
Pazos has a good arm. That was a good pickup. They got him from the Yankees for a minor league pitcher. That was back a couple of seasons ago. He's got a good arm, good fastball, good slider, and he's not afraid to challenge hitters. That time he got all inside against Solarte.
Pazos is 27 years old. He's from Gilbert, Arizona. A Yankees 13th round draft pick in 2012. This is his second season with the Mariners. He got into games for 2 years with the Yankees. Russell Martin is 1 for 3 so far. Russell's got a streak of 5 consecutive games with an extra base hit. If he hits an extra base hit in this at bat, that will tie his career high for such games. He had 6 games with an extra base hit in August of 2016.
Says he's seeing the ball a lot better right now and tracking. He says my swings feel really good right now. Look how he's seeing the ball. Even his takes, he's in hitting position.
Ken Giles loosening up. He pitched in last night's game. He gave up a couple of singles and a run, but he struck out 3 in the inning. His first inning as a Blue Jay. Russell out in front and hits it high, well foul, and that's going to reach the upper deck here.
He's the king at swinging 3-0 for me. I think he understands the strike zone so well, and he can zero in on those pitches, those 3-0 pitches. He's not afraid to swing the bat. A lot of times you'll see hitters afraid to swing 3-0 that they're going to make an out. Russell swings it with a lot of confidence.
He got jammed and ends up on the ground. That ball way inside. I don't know if he twisted an ankle, twisted a knee, but he took an awkward swing and collapsed in a heap in the batter's box.
Did the ball hit him, or did he just, right off his knee?
Hit him right off that left knee. Just what a catcher needs in the 9th inning. Foul a ball off your legs.
Right off the top of the knee. Wow.
Full count with 1 out. This is playable. Popped in the air, shallow left field. Segura makes the catch in fair territory. Martin's retired. 2 away. So that streak of 5 consecutive games with extra base hits appears to be in jeopardy now.
John Gibbons asking him as he goes by him if he's okay. Gibby knows what that feels like. He was a catcher.
And then Miss Diaz homered in the 5th, his 4th home run on this road trip. He takes the first pitch strike. Over number 13 for Diaz. He was telling me that this has been an unusual season for him. In the past, he has always gotten off the decent starts with the bat, and then he might tail off after the second half begins. But this year he got off to a terrible start, and it's been a slow, steady climb for him. Diaz now batting .251. That's going to be a base hit, probably extra bases. He's around first, headed for second with his second extra base hit of the game. His 14th double of the season.
Unfortunately for him, he was really swinging the bat well when he twisted his ankle down in Tampa Bay and then had to go on the disabled list for a while. Came off that, got the timing back, and now he's really swinging another extra base hit for the Blue Jays on this road trip. That's a double, just turning on that good inside fastball from Pazos. He's had 2 more extra base hits tonight.
Diaz tripped running across the bag at first on the 6th of May. He was out of the game. Gurriel came in, took over for him. Then he went on the disabled list, and there's a base hit for Drury down into the corner. This is going to be extra bases. Diaz is around third. He's going to score. Brandon Drury has his second hit of the ball game, an RBI double.
The 9th inning for the Blue Jays now in all 3 games here have been golden. Thursday they scored 3 runs to bust open that game. Last night they scored 3 runs in the 9th inning to get them to 7 runs, and tonight they score another run in the 9th inning. 2-out lightning. Double down the left field line, and Drury not wasting any time. Rips the same pitch in the same place for another run.
4 doubles for the Blue Jays tonight. They have hit 23 doubles on this road trip. And doubles, they will produce runs for you.
Yeah, keeps that pitcher in the stretch position. He looks out there, another runner in scoring position. 9 games, 23 doubles. Impressive.
Again, the chant of "Let's go Blue Jays" ringing out here at Safeco Field, and these fans are having a blast. So breaking on those swing by Pilar. This is the biggest crowd so far in this series, 41,238. The vast majority of them Blue Jay fans. Good cut by Pilar. Kevin's 2 for 3. Kevin hit one of those doubles in the 3rd inning, came around to score the first Blue Jay run.
He's had some good swings the last 2 nights since coming off the disabled list. No problem with his shoulder.
Two-2 pitch. Now it's a full count. We have a stoppage in play as there has been a quote-unquote fan that has run onto the field. There is a break in the action, so they say. Too much partying for that person.
Come to the game and have a lot of fun, but stay off the field, please.
The Blue Jays will try to make it a clean sweep if they can win this one. And tomorrow it all begins at 3:30 Eastern time. That's 12:30 Pacific time. That's Jamie Campbell and the pregame show. They'll start things off. Sam Gaviglio will go to the mound. He'll be opposed by the right-hander Mike Leake. Gaviglio looking for his first win since way back in May.
He's going to try and beat his former team. He's pitched for Seattle.
Pitched here last year. So Gaviglio, he had a chance to catch up with his college coach before this game. Pat Casey, the head baseball coach at Oregon State, was on the field, and he had a chance to visit with Gaviglio and a lot of the players and coaches of the Mariners. Kevin Pillar now with a full count. There are 2 outs. Brendan Drury is at second. Pillar hits it on the ground, but right to the shortstop. Segura throws him out. But the Blue Jays get another run. They take a 5-1 lead into the bottom of the ninth. Ken Giles will come out. Second night in a row for Giles. A terrific outing here for Estrada. It's the 4th time in his career he's gone 7 innings or more, allowing just 1 hit. 93 pitches. He faced 1 batter in the 8th, and he walked him. That run came around to score. The only run he surrendered, that was after he left the game. He walked 2 and struck out 4. He did not give up a hit until the 7th inning with 1 out. He gave up the only hit to Mitch Haniger, a double down the left field line.
Baffled the Mariners all night long. Now here comes the heat. Ken Giles, that's 2 nights in a row now that Giles is going to come in. He's 12 for 12 in save opportunities. This is not a save opportunity after the Blue Jays scored that run. He pitched last night, struck out the side, all with his breaking ball.
Denard Span, the number 2 hitter, has flied out 3 times tonight. There's another slider. 1-1 now. Giles making his 2nd appearance for the Blue Jays He appeared in 34 games with Houston before his demotion. He was sent down to AAA Fresno, where he appeared in 6 games in AAA. He last pitched for the Astros on the 10th of July. And then he was demoted. He got into an altercation with A.J. Hinch, a verbal altercation, and they sent him to the minors. Pitched 6 games in AAA. The Blue Jays made the trade for Osuna, got Giles in return.
Got a chance now to take over that closer's role for the Blue Jays. They really haven't been able to settle on one guy since Roberto Osuna was suspended or had that paid leave of absence. Giles has that opportunity. He looks like a closer. When you take a look at him, big fastball and a good wipeout type of slider. Even though you throw that hard, you still have to be able to locate pitches.
Giles had a career high 34 saves for the Astros last season. He was 34 for 38 in save opportunities. For his career, he has 77 saves in 91 chances. Ball hit him. The breaking ball hit Denard Span, so he'll take first base. Nobody out, a man at first. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Jesse and Ben. Yeah, that's very interesting with Terrell Owens and not going to the induction ceremony at Canton. Had his own party. Tiger Woods, he's had a pretty good weekend of golf. That's all coming up right after this baseball game. Here's Mitch Haniger. Haniger got the first hit of the ball game off of Marco Estrada. He got a hanging curveball and pulled it inside the bag at third for the double. Popped up. This is playable. First baseman Justin Smoke into foul territory. Takes the catch. Haniger's retired. One away. Roberto Osuna is eligible to pitch tomorrow. He's supposed to join the team and address the team about his off-field problems, and some of the players in Houston have been very vocal about wanting to hear Osuna's side of the story.
He'll take care of that tomorrow. I believe the general manager is going to be with him. And then he will be eligible to start pitching.
This is Nelson Cruz. Ken Giles is 27 years old. He was drafted by the Phillies, 7th round pick in 2011. Pitched 2 seasons in Philadelphia, 14 and 15, and then 2 seasons in Houston, and then this half season as well. That's a good fastball. Foul tip. 0-2. For the first time in his career this season, Giles gave up more hits than innings pitched. With Houston, he gave up 36 hits in 30 2/3 innings. He had 2 hits in last night's inning of work. That gets through Russell Martin. It's going to go back behind home plate as Span moves to second.
Yeah, it was 23 pitches to get those 3 outs. He ended up striking out the side. That's where a lot of those pitches went. A lot of deep counts. Missed with his breaking ball here as that ball ricochets by Martin to the backstop. But last night, maybe he was a little fired up pitching for the Blue Jays for the first time. He was missing with his fastball.
It's a wild pitch charge to Giles, so Span is now at second. That's a base hit. Span had to hold up. They've got a chance to keep him from scoring, and they will. Teoscar Hernandez got to it quickly. Span wasn't sure where the shortstop was. He should have known that the shortstop was in the hole, because he could have scored on that ball.
Easily could have scored. The Blue Jays were giving him any ball hit to your left, you can go automatically, but he wasn't really sure where the shortstop was. And being down by 4 runs, he wasn't going to take any chances.
Yeah, that is not a good piece of base running right there by a veteran. Diaz was way over in the hole. Cruz is a pull hitter. So Span must have thought that ball was hit right to the shortstop, so he only advances to third. Kyle Seager now batting with 3 defenders on the first base side of second. He goes after the first pitch.
He beat the shift yesterday on a ball like this. They had the shift on, a hard thrower, and he just poked the ball the other way for a base hit.
And that was in the 4th inning, picked up an RBI. In his next at bat, they straightened up the shift, played him more conventionally. That's off the end of the bat. Span will hold it third. They'll go to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. What a job by the infield. Brendan Drury went to second. Good turn by Travis. The Mariners are still in the dugout looking at the video replay. Span held at third. Russell Martin was asking for the ball in case Span decided to break after a close call at first base.
They're not going to look at it?
Nope, that's going to be
That's it.
So they get out of it. Giles will close out the game for the 2nd straight night. It's not a save situation. Drury to second. Diaz, strong throw just in time to end the ball game. And the Blue Jays have made it 3 in a row here against the Mariners.
And it has all started with the starting pitching. They've got some great starting pitching at the beginning of the game. Tonight, no different. Marco Estrada, masterful pitching, 7 innings, a hit, a run with 4 strikeouts. The offense, again, scoring enough to win this one. But the pitching is starting to round into form the last 3 nights.
They've gotten 3 fine outings from their pitchers here in this series. They have taken the first 3. Sam Gavilia will try to make it 4 in a row tomorrow. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay tuned. Here's Sportsnet Central.